Hello students, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today this video is for those who will be doing GCSE examinations as English as a second language. If you do Cambridge exams, then you have two writings in your reading and writing paper. One will be an email and the other one will be a formal writing. Today we are going to focus on this email writing. You can learn about how to write this and how we are going to quit mark, and then even you're going to learn how to do practices. So subscribe my channel, stay with me and learn very well. Let's move on to the lesson.
Starting our lesson, let's first look at what this writing is, and so I'm going to focus on this as the topic, like under the topic introduction. Okay, first thing, what this email is, what we are talking about, what we have to write. Okay, that's something you have to understand first. So first thing is that you have to understand that this is an informal email. Okay, not just a formal email. This is going to be an informal email. So because of that, it will be like you can use some things like contractions, okay, phrasal verbs and idioms, as this language will be informal. Usually what they will give you is that you have to write or give information or updates to a close person. Usually this close person is actually a friend. Most of the times the question is asking you to write an email to your friend. Because of that, it becomes the informal language, and due to that you can use the contractions, phrasal verbs and idioms. We will discuss more about this language. So first thing, it's important to learn how to organize our writing. Okay, organize our writing. This is very important. So when you write, when you look at the question, you will see they will be asking you to write at least they will be asking you to focus on at least 3 points, three aspects, three parts. So because of that, it's better to just have one paragraph for 1 point. Okay, so thinking about it in that way, first thing you have to start with that means the first paragraph. You can start with an introduction. That introduction won't be a formal one, right? So because this is an email for a friend, what you can do is that you can ask how your friend is. Just give something like an apologizing for not writing, I was busy, like that. Just you can give a connection to your friend. You can show the reader or the audience. That means not the audience means here that not the friend. Okay, that means your examiner. You can show that the examiner that you have a connection with this friend. This is not just a friend who like popped up. No, this is the friend you've been writing to. So you can show that connection, right? That will be like a plus mark for you. Then you can have this second paragraph for your first bulletin point. There will be 3 bulletin points definitely. So you can just talk about the first one in the second paragraph. In the third one, the second bullet point. And in the fourth paragraph, you can talk about the third bullet point. Then what will happen is that when you organize it in this way, you won't miss a thing. You will be answering every corner, everything in the question, which is a very important part. Okay, then in the fifth one, you can actually conclude it. Conclusion means not in conclusion. No, that's not how we conclude it, right? You can just give something like you can invite your friend for something. When you're free, let me know, we'll have a cup of coffee, something like that, right? Then you can just suggest something, recommend something. Okay, if you're just asking your friend to join you to go on a trip, I think you should join me, just let me know if you like it, something like that, right? In that way you can conclude your writing. And remember, this is an email, so because of that you have to start the email with something like hi. We'll say your friend is Alan. Okay, hi Alan, something like that. You have to first begin with hi Alan. Then you can write something as the first paragraph. How are you doing? I think you're fine. Something like that for the first paragraph, right? Even in the last paragraph, after writing like, hope you can join me to go on this trip. Really want to hear from you soon. I really want to hear from you soon. See you then. Then bye. Then you're going to write something like with love. Or your friend will say you are Joe, okay? Then your friend Joe or with love Joe. Something like that you have to write at the end. This is an email because of that. So then when we are writing, okay, when we actually write this email, there are certain things you have to remember. You can link your ideas using a range of cohesive devices. Okay, you're free to use cohesives, and because these cohesives are very important to keep that connection between the sentences as well as the paragraphs. So it's very important. Then you can link your ideas, okay? Just don't let the reader to feel like your ideas are isolated. No, just give the link, something like that's why, also while, soon after that. That's why I want you to join with me. That they're kind of like, it gives that informal text, that texture is there, that language is there informally, but it gives that connection too. So that will be linking your ideas. Then when you're introducing, you can introduce actually new ideas, okay? Just merely limiting your ideas won't be like, you have to limit your ideas up to a certain level, but you have to actually develop your ideas too up to a certain level. So you can use some things like this. You will never believe this, but anyway, before anything else, later that day, some things like that, these phrases are not formal, so it will give that informal texture too. Now let's look at the language, right? So this is very important. You have to think about the suitable vocabulary. When you're using the language, I always suggest you to not to use texties. That means the language like like the language you're using for to type, to chat, not that language. You are not allowed to use that. You are using certain words in a short form, like here, like for though, you will be writing THO, right? In when you're chatting, you will be using though in THO, but you can't use it in that way. You will be writing please in PLS, right? No, you have to write the correct form, correct spellings. Certain language is not okay, so you have to be very careful with that. And then you can use actually appropriate phrasal verbs. This is one of an example for a phrasal verb. Give up. Some things like this will give that informal texture to the language. Then you can use idioms. Idioms are a wonderful thing to get marks simply. It will give a kind of a plus mark for your language, and it really enhances the quality of your language. Something like out of the blue, pink in health, I was busy as a bee. Some things like that you can use. Then you can use contractions. Contractions means some things like this. Without using I have, you can use I've. And it's you. You can just short it with the apostrophe. Right? So you're allowed to use it because this is informal language. And then you can include clauses that begin with like which, when, if. Right? Then after after writing, it is very important to check. That means you have to read it again. That is something very important, because maybe you're perfect in writing, maybe you're weak in writing, however you are, okay, though a perfect person, maybe a perfect person you are, but still when you're writing you can do mistakes. That's a general thing. Your mistakes can cause you marks, so don't let it to happen. If you read it once, usually you find them. Maybe it will be a spelling mistake, maybe it will be a grammar mistake. Just read it. So it is very important for you to manage your time, and that means managing time means you have to allocate your time not only for writing, You have to keep at least like 3-4 minutes to read your writing again and to do corrections. Right? As this part is coming, I will just give you a hint. Usually, we always ask the students, now you are getting 2 hours for the paper. You have 4 reading questions and then 2 writing questions. So usually one reading question will take around 20 minutes. So then it will be around 1 hour and 20 minutes for the whole reading questions. Then you have 40 minutes for the both writings. But certain reading questions you can complete it within like 15 minutes, right? Without rushing. With practice actually you can complete it. Then you can get that advantage for your writing. If you can get that writing advantage to the writing, then you can just allocate time depending on your skill to the questions. That means if you are very much comfortable with the email writing, you can just allocate like 20 minutes for the email. Then the excess time you can just apply for your formal writing. That means the second writing. That's up to you. So anyway, if it is like 20 minutes sharp, it will be like you will be having 20 minutes. If you get 20 minutes, take 2-3 minutes to draw the draft, brainstorm. That is very important. Then you write looking at your brainstorming, whatever the draft you have prepared. Then keep at least 4 minutes, like at least 4 minutes in the end to read the answer again and to check whether you have written everything correct. This is something very important. Remember. Okay, I'm going to finish the part 1 and I'm moving into my part 2. That is, actually, I'm going to discuss about how we are going to mark your writing. So the first thing is that we are going to look at your content. Okay, how well you have included the relevant information. This is how we are going to give you marks. Usually for content you are going to get 6 marks, right? 6 marks for content these days. Okay, I don't know, maybe in future they can change, but right now the marking will be like 6 marks. So we give 5 or 6 marks if you do in this way. We're checking two parts: task fulfillment and development of ideas. Under task fulfillment, task is fulfilled, content is fully relevant throughout. That means nothing unnecessary things are not there. All the necessary stuff are only there. Consistently appropriate style for the text type. That means not like from coming here and there. There's a consistency and that type is very good. Excellent sense of purpose and audience. That means you have given the ideas pretty well and you just address the audience very well. You identified the audience. Then in development of ideas, content is very well developed. Then you are getting 5 or 6 marks for content. If under task fulfillment, task is generally fulfilled, not completely. Content is generally relevant. Okay, content is okay, but still there are ups and downs. Generally appropriate style for the text type. Okay, but still there are ups and downs. Generally good sense of purpose and audience. That means not excellent, but okay. And development of ideas. Under development ideas, content is generally developed. You can see it's not perfect, but okay. In that content, you will be getting 3 to 4 marks. Okay. Then, if your task fulfillment is like only partially fulfilled, this is one of an important point. There are so many times students come and say, I just started writing, but I could not finish it. But I think some marks I will be getting. Yeah, you will be getting, but still you cannot get full marks. See? Because you did not complete it. Then content is only partially relevant. That means some students are writing like the page is filled, but totally unnecessary details. They have not answered the question. Then you are not going to get marks. Style for the text type is inconsistent or inappropriate. That means if you're using like lot of types and maybe the language is not okay, a lot of grammar mistakes are there, spelling mistakes are there, then Then insufficient sense of purpose and audience. You did not identify what your purpose is, and you did not identify how you should be addressing your audience. Then even in the development of ideas, limited attempt to develop the content. You just wrote something but it's not there. Maybe you have copied the content from your question directly to get the number of words. That's it. You did not write anything else. Then you will be getting 1 or 2 marks. And remember, the examiners can give you 0 marks too if your answer is not creditable. That means it is not relevant at all. Then they can give you 0 marks. Remember this one. We will move into the next slide, that is about the language. So as I told you, you are getting 6 marks for content, and language you are getting 9 marks. So total will be 15 marks. This is how we give you marks for language. Now if your range and accuracy, here even we are getting like 2 parts, okay? Range and accuracy. Content is communicated skillfully and appropriately. So the content is there, in this writing, it is very well developed, and they are passing that content very well, and uses a wide range of common and less common vocabulary. This is very important, okay? If you use a lot of vocabulary, just vocabulary we always see, it's not enough, right? That is kind of like mentioning less common vocabulary. See, uses a wide range of simple and complex sentences. You have to use simple as well as complex sentences, not only simple sentences. I've seen most of the time students think that if I can write simple sentences, that will give me all the marks because I do not do any grammar mistakes. It's not. You have to be tricky. You have to use complex sentences too, right? So according to your age, according to your level, you must be able to use both of them. And then high level of accuracy of language. Occasional errors may be present, but these do not impede communication. That means sometimes students do mistakes. Something like, we'll say mistake. Okay, we have an E at the end, right? We'll say you have used this word mistake in 3 places in your writing, but only in 1 place you forgot to write E at the end. So at a glance, the examiner can understand, okay, this is a mistake. The student knows how to write mistake, but here he missed that part. It's okay. Something like that. Okay. It doesn't mean that you are allowed to do spelling mistakes. Okay. No. Because there it does not affect on the quality of the writing. So there we can just give you a little bit of like, we can be lenient. Then organization. Right. Effectively organized and sequenced. I just taught you how to do this one. And if you do it in that way, no problem. Uses a wide range of linking words and or other cohesive devices appropriately. I mentioned this part too, this one too. You have to use linking devices so that the sentences will be connected as well as the paragraphs will be connected. If so, you are going to get 7 to 9. Okay, 7, 8, 9. That will be depending on your writing. Then, if your range and accuracy is content is communicated clearly, okay, clear content, then uses a range of common vocabulary appropriately and attempts to use some less common vocabulary. Some less common is also there, but common vocabulary is okay. Uses a range of simple structures and attempts to use complex structures. That means maybe one place you are trying, like giving an attempt, but simple structures, okay, fine, you're fine. Generally good level of accuracy of language. Errors do not generally impede. Here even in that level should be there. Errors are not there in the language. Good level and good accuracy of language. In organization, generally well organized and sequenced, like the way I have taught you. Uses a range of linking words. That's the same thing, right? Only they are giving you an excuse in here. That means you are trying to use these things but not very well used. So under that, if you are in that situation, you can get 4, 5, 6 marks for the language. Okay. Then if you look at this range and accuracy, if your content is communicated but lacks clarity, it's not clear that much. Uses only common vocabulary. Only common vocabulary is there and simple structures of sentences are there. lack of control of language. There will be so many mistakes, errors, and limited attempt at organization and sequencing. Maybe you have not divided paragraphs properly. Maybe you have written all the points in one paragraph. You're doing it. Students are doing that. Limited attempt to use linking words. You have written sentences, but sentences are feeling like isolated. They're not connected to each other. Then you will be getting 1 or 2 or 3 marks. And remember, here even if your content, if your language is not into the accepted level, we can give you 0 marks. So when you look at these things, I think you can get an idea how we are going to mark, how we are going to give you marks. Then you can just reduce actually your mistakes, and you can improve yourself because you know how we are going to mark your writing. All right, so this is going to end the second part, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a tip for the third part. That is how to practice. How can I write this email? How can I start writing? Now you know the structure, now you know the organization, now you can think of the language. This is something you've been practicing for a long time, and you can understand how they're going to mark. Okay, now how can I practice this one? Just merely learning it in the school and merely just doing one won't be enough. What you can do is that you can take a question. Okay, there are so many past papers available, there are course books available, websites are giving ample questions. Just take one. Then first thing you should do is that analyzing the question. This is the first thing. You have to analyze and see what the question is, how the question is, what are the things the question is asking me to do, and what are the things I have to focus on when I'm writing this answer, this email. Okay, then you have to do brainstorming. This is the second one. Very important. Most of the students are not doing this. They just directly read the question and go into the writing. Then they just cut the things, edit the things, erase the things. They're doing everything in the piece of writing and giving it. So the examiner is kind of like they face much difficulties in the marking, because sometimes your sentences are above the rule, above, maybe below that space, maybe you're putting an arrow and putting something in down. Just it's a blunder. It's not clean. Remember, if you want marks, you have to learn to present it very clean, very well organized. At a glance, we should get a positive feeling. If you are presenting us a writing with like lot of cutting, just you have jotted down everything here and there, you just drew every like arrows and everything and putting sentences, you're writing sentences from this side, that side, that will give a headache to the examiner, and they are not going to check your writing always to just to give you marks. You should be able to get the marks. For that, you have to learn to write it or present it neatly. For that, brainstorming will be very important. And I have discussed this part earlier, even in few of my videos. I have mentioned how this brainstorming is affecting on your number of words. That means your organization. Then you can write your first draft. As you're practicing, just write the first writing. Okay, then what you can do is that you can just check your writing. You can't do it, I know, but you have to get a help from a teacher or someone who can do it. They will help you. Right? After checking, you must do the corrections and rewrite the same writing. That is something very important. Most of the students stop from here. They don't go for this step. No, this is not something they will do. They hate this step. No. If you want to learn, if you want to improve, you must rewrite it. Because otherwise what will happen is that you will be doing the same mistake again and again. If you do recorrect, it will go to your brain very easily. Then when you're doing it again, when you're writing it again, it will kind of like coming out. And your brain will just give you like a red light. Okay, you have done this mistake last time, don't do it. Okay, so it will be helpful for you. This step is very important. Try to do it. So this is how you should be practicing your writing. Okay, So today, what we have discussed is that you have learned this email type. Okay, this is an email, informal email, and the language, right? What type of things we can use? We discussed that we can use phrasal verbs, idioms, and then contractions, and then cohesive devices, right? A lot of things we discussed, and then the organization, right? Paragraph alignment. First paragraph, the introduction, we said that hi, how are you, something like that, and then the next two, second paragraph, third paragraph, and fourth paragraph will be for our bullets, 1, 2, 3, and then the last paragraph will be concluding. That means just something like I want to hear from you soon, we'll meet someday, something like that. Okay, so and then we just learned the way your writing will be marked, how we are going to give you marks, right? This is important. Now you know how you're going to get marks, right? Then you learn the way to improve your email writing. You learned how to do the practice. So I hope this lesson will be very important for you to improve your email writing.
So this is going to mark the end of today's lesson. This is the part 1. We are going to do another lesson, and in that lesson you are going to learn how to analyze an exam question and how to construct an answer. So subscribe my channel, stay tuned and learn very well. Let me know how these videos helped you to get more marks and do your writing well. See you next time.